Okay, so let me start by Dinesh, just hearing your story a little bit, where you started, uh, you know, before IndiaMART, and then maybe we'll come to the topic. But just to start on a slightly lighter note, will be good to just hear your story of entrepreneurship.
So that's longer than Rama's Vanvas of 14 years. It's been 27 years. I used to be a software engineer in US, and 15th of August 1995, Prime Minister announced from the Lal Killa that now we have internet in India. The very next day, I resigned in US and came back, packed my bags and came back to India in within two
Reverse
three
brain
months.
drain.
Yeah, so it's like I have to do something for India, in India with internet. That's about it. And rest is you keep doing something or the other. Uh, in those days, since consumer internet was very little here in India, and SMEs was my dream also. We ourselves come from a small business family from a small town. So I think that fitted well in my own journey and I could connect well with that. And that's what we have been doing, trying to create more business, easier business for small and medium enterprises.
Okay. Dinesh and I were chatting just before this session, and we discovered that both of us belong almost within 100 kilometers of a district in eastern UP. So we have something in common there. So moving on to the
नहीं
topic.
उसको बता देते हैं. So I also come from my district is Bahraich, which is the poorest even today across India out of the two districts uh, which are the poorest. I mean, more than 51% below poverty line are Bahraich and Shravasti. Shravasti was cut off from Bahraich, so both of them belong to Bahraich. Bahraich is about 15 kilometers from Nepal border. So is Gorakhpur. Gorakhpur is your town, and we are parallelly on Nepal border.
And also a hotbed for MSMEs.
Yes.
So I think just to start off on the topic, what will be good is to just get your view on when we say how are digital platforms leveling the playing field. Who are these MSMEs who we need to level the playing field for? And just some stats that you were sharing with me just before that there are about 1.5 crore MSMEs registered with GST. But all these digital platforms, are they really serving a large chunk of these 1.5 crores, or do you think most of them continue to serve the top 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh of the chunk? And therefore, there is a large population of MSMEs, maybe in non metros, maybe doing different sectors than ones that receive a lot of funding, which actually need the playing field to be leveled.
See, as we all know, there are about 1.5 cr people who have registered in GST. So that's the formal economy. And even if I go by MSME Udyog Aadhar or Udyam Aadhar, that's about 2.4 crore or something. Now, out of that, if you look at the active uh, SMEs who register and file their returns, that's about 1 crore only. So that's the 1 crore people who are above the 20 lakh or 40 lakh turnover, depending upon services or products, uh, who are in the business. And many of them are below 40 lakh also because they need to supply to larger organization and larger organization want uh, GST bill. Now, out of that, will is the platforms like IndiaMart or platforms like Google or uh, do they provide level playing field? Yes, they do. They provide level playing field, so even the smallest SME can theoretically compete with the largest business on internet. Imagine uh, a small 1 crore turnover guy has to compete on television, impossible, or even newspaper, impossible, or radio. So internet has definitely brought that, uh, barriers of entry has gone down, definitely on internet. So you can advertise on Google or IndiaMART or Facebook or Instagram for as low as um, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees a month, which is not possible earlier. So it has definitely brought the level playing field. Imagine so many direct to consumer brands are getting created and getting listed now. Uh, it was not possible with the until you have a big amount of money earlier. Now, whether they provide this value to all 1 crore, all 1 crore are not yet aware and not yet uh, registered there and reached there. So just to give you IndiaMART stats, about 50 lakh plus businesses have by themselves given their OTP and phone number and email OTP verified on IndiaMART. So, 50% of the active people, and out of that, a lot of them might have become inactive. So I would say 33% of active people are also on IndiaMART available, uh, and they would have signed up in the last 2, 3 years. So, and imagine in 5 years from now or 3 years from now, this number would go to 80% very easily, because uh, internet adoption has only gone up post 2017 or 16, when after Geo came and when people mm, had to use internet uh, by force after the COVID lockdowns. I think a lot of internet adoption has gone up. A lot of people have learned. WhatsApp has become popular, Instagram has become popular, share chat brought it to masses. So I think now mm, everybody kind of knows, 50% of Indian population would know how to use internet.
Yeah.
And so 50% of Indian businesses also know how to utilize internet. How many of them actively utilize? We don't know yet. I mean, we have only 2.2 lakh customers. Maybe Google would have slightly more. Just Dial would have another 4, 5 lakh. So out of that, total, maybe 5, 10 lakh people already using internet for generating business. But for doing accounting, for doing other things, I think Tally would have 30 odd lakhs.
Hmm.
Uh, so accounting people are IT aware. 30 odd lakh people are IT aware. We have another investment called Vyapar. Vyapar mein there are 3 lakh customer in last 6 years itself. So there is a fast penetration which is going down.
Hmm.
Mm,
And you're seeing that as the internet penetration and digital awareness is going up, naturally the adoption of these platforms is also going up. So then it is also about how do you actually push that digital adoption. And I'll take the example of what Amphi did with mutual funds. You all of us would have heard of mutual funds Sahi Hai campaign. It has led to a massive increase in equity participation in this country, and it is a government led initiative. So, and I know government is already doing a lot in the MSME space. There is Make in India, there is ONDC, there's UPI. But where do you see this? Is there more that regulation and
yeah.
government could do?
So, uh, you know, these technologies can do only to a certain extent to small or micro business. But micro businesses have other disadvantages, maybe credit,
Yeah.
maybe inflation,
Hmm.
maybe too much of regulation and cost of compliance. So I think the government has to uh, do more for micro segment. While post the GST and post these technologies have come in, I think the whole small and medium segment is doing fine.
Hmm.
The micro and below micro segment, that is where I think still uh, the turnover is too small, the cost of compliance is high, there's not enough credit. If credit is available, it's very expensive. So I think those side things have to be solved even more.
Hmm.
Probably we need more ready-made solution uh, for those kind of MSMEs. Maybe Zomato is,
Yeah.
maybe Swiggy is for small restaurants. Uh, but uh, have do we maybe ONDC will,
Yeah.
but it, it will take time.
So you rightly mentioned credit as being the number one problem that is being faced by MSMEs, and even in our work as BCG, with a lot of I specifically work for banks, and a lot of work I do is to help banks lend more, lend better. And the number one challenge I hear from banks is how do I underwrite this small restaurant owner who is running. I know he has a certain cash flow. I intuitively know that he may be able to pay back a certain amount of loan, but I just don't have documents.
Yeah, so
And I wanted to ask, like, what role can these digital platforms play in that access to finance, which is so crucial for these guys?
so earlier though there was no data trail available other than your bank account, and people didn't pay by check or people didn't pay by. Uh, so now with the UPI, even the smallest transactions are going through your bank account. So your
Hmm.
bank account has become a lot more richer now. At least it can give you how many customers are coming to you, what is the average ticket size and things like that in a much granular way. So bank statement analyzers can really do a wonderful job today. The second part is GST data.
Hmm.
Earlier, this GST data was not made available, and even today it is slightly difficult yet. But as the government and RBI had decided that GST data to be made available to financial information users, I think that would open up a, that's almost like all of your data.
Yeah.
Uh, every single invoice is available. So, where do you sell, to whom do you sell, what do you sell, at what price do you sell, what's the credit terms. So, I think these two to put together UPI, NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, and the GST, e-way e-invoice data. I think these two can do a lot
Yeah.
of more wonderful things than what IndiaMART can specifically tell you that, okay, he's my 4-year-old customer or he's, how many kind of inquiries. उससे कहीं अच्छा डेटा वो वाला है.
Hmm.
So I think with this whole digital public infrastructure and GST data being made available, if uh, if fintechs uh, and NBFCs and banks will use that responsibly, because otherwise Supreme Court will come down heavily on them. Because last time you know what happened with
Yeah.
Aadhaar,
Yeah.
and that actually pushes you down. So if they do that responsibly, account aggregator, OCAN, GST Sahay together can do wonders.
No, I agree, and we are already seeing some of these trends playing out in the consumer lending space. But yes, hopefully soon those trends will
And,
will play
and
out.
also
In,
land records getting digitized. Earlier, you know, your paper is as much legitimate as much somebody has verified it.
yeah,
So I think land record getting, I mean, a lot of digital footprint is there. Today, on a click of a button, you can get almost a digital kundli of um, uh, full of business or full.
yeah.
So digital footprint today, do we know how to analyze all that digital footprint? Not yet. So I think the banks also have to come forward and NBFCs have to come forward. And we still don't have too much of a collection rails
Yeah,
being built other than the NACH.
yeah.
and BBPS. I think there we should do more things.
While on platforms, we spoke about IndiaMART, which is a customer access and a marketplace platform. There are players like Zoho, which are providing CRM platforms. There are players like Open, who are providing banking platforms. And you interact with so many MSMEs as part of IndiaMART. Where is there a need gap, or where do you think the next unicorn can come out of from amongst digital platforms towards MSMEs?
See, I don't know unicorn, but yeah, but accounting is one definite need already proven by Tally on
Tally.
20-30 lakh people, and there is a need to uh, you know need for Tally 2.0
Yeah.
because it did its job well for 30 years, but we need now a 2.0, which is where Vyapar or life keeping or business analyst or many other open, or because now your bank can be connected, your lending rails can be connected, uh, because that's also a very good data. It could be a CRM,
Hmm.
CRM come accounting like
Hmm.
Zoho does to some extent. So I think there is there was a phobia of technology, and there was a affordability issue also of the technology. So most of the people like your company or likes, they made software either for consumer or for enterprises. Nobody really made software for SMEs for a long period
MSMEs.
of time. And now I know everybody is making this software on the cloud because you are not distributing them. You don't have to distribute the software one by one like Tally did or like MS Office did. So now, uh, if you see, suddenly there is a too much of a B2B in the last 5-7 years post the mobile thing. Not only consumer side, but B2B has also taken well. Uh, I believe on this whole Tally 2.0, kaisa dikhega, I can't even imagine. Even if I can imagine, I'm not going to tell you. So I'm probably trying to make one, but I'm too old to make one now. So I think there is a definite opportunity on that side
Hmm.
to do something, a mini operating system kind SAP for small businesses. And these small businesses are again four different segments, below micro, micro, small and medium.
Hmm.
And all of them have a very different need than, so if you can't, you can't sell the same thing. At IndiaMART, we tried a lot selling IndiaMART to 50 crore plus guys. We are hardly successful. We are, we are mainly between 50 lakh to 5 crores. Our 80% of the market. So once you make a product for a target segment, it just does well in that segment. It doesn't really. So same is Tally, same is SAP, same is
So
Khata
while
Book.
the opportunity, no question, is there, do you think there is also an apprehension from the side of the MSMEs towards some of these large VCP funded platforms? And we've seen restaurants go up against the likes of Zomato. We've seen,
35% commission लोगे तो जाएंगे ही ना.
yeah.
35% commission nobody wants to pay, and it's I think in my parlance, I come from my wife comes from Gita Press background. अनुचित मुनाफा बोलते हैं उसको. So it doesn't see something like a 10%, and that's what ONDC is trying to do.
Yeah.
So a competition is very necessary uh, for anything like that to succeed. Nobody complains about IndiaMART charging too much money. They happily give you 3 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees also.
Hmm.
So I think as a percentage commission, uh, you can pay 1 to 10% maybe, but maybe 20, but 30 and 35, that's what people complain about Amazon and Zomato both.
Hmm. But has that led to an apprehension against these platforms?
I don't think so. India is too big, too many people, too many voices, all kind of people, all kind of voices. So for each and every entrepreneur here, there's enough market. You go and find your own market, sell it to that. There are takers. Your product market fit should be there. I don't think the sentiment of one newspaper or one online or me sitting saying anything here matters a lot at all. There are in India there are 100 different countries, and each one has
True.
different need, different paying capacity, and different love for different things. So I don't think so. India is very good in that sense. If you want a homogeneous market like US, go to US.
No, that's so true. And I'm from Bangalore, so
See, Muruga is smiling there. He's created how many matrimony sites? 300 different matrimony sites. Not one match.com, not one, 300 different matrimony sites.
that's true. Yeah, I was going to take the example of Bangalore, where now there is Namma Yatri. It's an app which is actually developed by an association of autowalas in Bangalore, because they were not happy with sort of the aggregation model run by the likes of Uber and Ola. So I hear you when you say that where there is a need, there is a solution that will always
Emerge.
emerge to cater to it.
So, I mean, leaders would have advantage, or the early adopters would have advantage, but the late adopters also have their own advantage because they don't do that kind of trial and error and trial and error. So the late adopters can come and successfully copied model can be copied. So I think both have their own advantages, early adopters and late adopters.
And as an early adopter, IndiaMART, right? What do you think going forward in the next 5 years, 10 years? Uh, any plans that you have in how you could level the playing field for the MSMEs? And you mentioned that actually you are truly serving bottom of the pyramid, right? So you're not in the top 10 lakh, 20 lakh MSME customers necessarily. So as an organization that is really close to bottom of the pyramid, uh, what's your 5 year dream?
So my next year dream is to be more happier and doing slightly better than this year, and the next year after that is also like that, because 5 year and 10 year dreams are far off.
So we should say when we are sitting here next year.
What's next year? I know what's
Yeah.
next year. Can we do 20% better than previous year? Can we make our product more useful, meaningful for our SME, small customers? Can a buyer sitting somewhere in Nanpara, Bahraich, Gorakhpur get the variety of products at the prices that was not available to him or her earlier in a click of a button? Uh, uh, can we make their CRM better, customer CRM better? Because IndiaMART is not only a lead gen platform, it's also a largest CRM, because 100,000 people daily use IndiaMART for their customer relationship also. You know, we have a big lead manager
Okay.
within IndiaMART that comes in. And then we keep trying new things. You know, we keep trying, can we help them with lending? Can we help them with, so for example, now we have invested almost 700 crore rupees in the accounting business,
Okay.
500 crores on Busy, another 150 odd crores on Vyapar, then live keeping, then real books. So 4 different platforms for different segments of SMEs providing accounting services. Uh, so I think mm, access to market is the our core. from where we were born. Then we say, okay, access to technology and what technologies they need. Typically accounting, CRM,
Hmm.
maybe HRMS. Uh, and then can they get access to credit? So these are the three needs of any business: capital,
And for a newer
technology.
business like Vyapar, help us visualize who is this MSME customer. You know, where is he? What does he do? What are his needs? What's his revenue? And is it
Your
different?
neighborhood mobile shop, no, जहाँ से आप मोबाइल का कवर लगवाते हो, that that is the typical customer. Neighborhood medical shop, uh, that's the typical customer of Vyapar. Uh, because nobody now wants to do accounting on paper and pen. Excel and desktop is far more heavier. Nobody can afford a Munimji now to do a tally accounting because by self, if you ask half of the people, debit which side, credit which side, you know, is difficult for most people to understand. And an accountant is a bare minimum uh, 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees a month. So he can't afford that. And they are savvy enough to operate a laptop come mobile computer like this. So they want mm, mm, who are typically just entering into GST और फर्स्ट टाइम केवल बिल बनाना है, बेसिक इन्वेंट्री मैनेज करनी है. सो दीज आर द टिपिकल पर्सोनाज ऑफ व्यापार कस्टमर. वाई टैली इज लाइक somebody who is like arrived a little bit, 20,000 का सॉफ्टवेयर, 20,000 rupees a month का accountant. It's like spending 5 lakh rupees on accounting a year because accountant itself is 3
Yeah.
lakh rupees plus some other things. So somebody who wants to spend 5 lakh rupees on accounting, tally. Maybe somebody who wants to spend 10 lakh rupees on accounting, busy.
Hmm.
Because you want deeper inventory, you want deeper uh, uh, the credit terms, that this is 60 day में आएगा, this is 15 day में आएगा, due कब होगा, those kind of things. Then you need busy. If you are needing a multi-branch, multi-location online accounting, suppose you have 3 branches and you want to operate simultaneously under a single firm, Tally won't do because
Yeah.
Tally will be location by location. But you want to maintain one single account and you can't afford SAP, then you will go for a real books or a host books
Got it.
like that, or
Got it.
a Joho for that matter, maybe.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
there are segments of customers who use different softwares. Same is true with HRMS. So there could be a pagar book or a salary box
Hmm.
which only does attendance by way of face or
Biometric.
biometric. There could be someone who has a PF and ESI and some 50 people, 100 people. So Zimeo or Great HR for doing HRMS. And then there could be a bigger one, or Kika for that matter. So these are different segments. So before in the consulting terms, when you say SME, everybody below 100 crore is SME.
Yeah.
But then within that 100 crore also, up to 20 crore and up to 2 crore and are different segments.
Got it. Last question, since our organizers tell us our time is almost up, is one ask if you had to make on behalf of MSMEs, an ask you would like to see on party manifestos for the upcoming general election.
So party manifesto तो मैं नहीं बता सकता. I can ask the government, current government and upcoming government, whosoever it is, one small thing, if they can allow a self PAN verification. That's it. Because what happens, Aadhaar is limited to only to financial KYC, and business KYC is not there. So if people can simply do that, this business belongs to me and I can verify that through an OTP, that would be a big help. because that would lead to a lot of problems related to fraudulent activity on internet. Uh, Currently, to verify that this business is yours is a very difficult task. Even if you take all the papers, anybody could be submitting that paper. So, uh, so today this phone number and this business is connected is not there. If that can happen, and I think iSpirit has been working for long with the ministry to make it happen. I don't know where is that stuck. That's a business KYC, simple, verify your PAN. And because GST is embedded in PAN, and PAN is embedded in GST, I think that would do a lot of good to whether you
That's
are a
great.
business or you are not a business.
That's great. So we have at least one very, very actionable,
Yeah, very important actionable thing,
actionable from what is needed to level the playing field. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure talking to you. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.